everyone. Today I am listening to this week's Patreon poll winner, and I should say, as usual, excited. I'm looking forward to it. Today it's an artist I have never heard before, but one which many of you have suggested, recommended along the way. That is Nick Drake. And the song you have chosen for me is Riverman from 1969. Nicholas Rodney Drake was an English musician who did not reach a wide audience during his lifetime, but found acclaim and wider recognition following his death. Drake suffered from depression and was reluctant to perform in front of live audiences. Perhaps, maybe that's why one of the things that played into why he didn't have such a wide audience during his life, maybe? On the 25th of November, 1974, at the age of 26, he died from an overdose of antidepressants. Sounds like another one of those too early losses in the music world. Well, let's see how this music sounds. That was interesting. Hold on. I was sitting here, I pushed play, and I don't know if you saw in my face, but I was thinking, wait, do I have the volume turned up? There's nothing. It was so silent that it startled me when that first sound came. It sounds like a cassette player pushing the button. Oh, wow. That brings back memories. I had one of those as a child.
Betty came by on her way, said she had a word to say about things today and fallen leaves. Said she hadn't heard the news, hadn't had the time to choose.
What does this make me think of?
A way to lose, but she believes. Gonna see.
Okay, hold on. This feels like it's, I don't know, calling up some memory, some association with I don't know what. Another piece of music, another artist, some painting, some poetry. I really can't put my finger on it, and yet it feels like somehow it belongs to something, or I feel like there's some sort of association that's there, and I don't know if it's because I can't place it, pull something out right now and say, oh, it makes me think of this, or I connect it to that. I'm not sure if there's actually something that is there, or if it's just something about the music itself that makes me feel like that. That is interesting. Let's start back at the beginning, or close to the beginning, when the voice comes in. It's interesting the way we have this, and it suddenly darkens.
Said she had a word to say about things today and fallen leaves.
You know what? There's something incredibly English folk song or British Isles folk song. I'm going to speak broadly because there's just a certain atmosphere about it. And the song that comes to mind is Danny Boy. Interestingly, Danny Boy. Although this does not at all sound like Danny Boy, somehow the atmosphere, the mood, the voice, the guitar, the rhythm of the melody, the shaping of the melody, there's something about it that makes me feel like, I don't know, it comes from the same musical well.
Betty came by on her way, said she had a word to say about things today.
It's both warm and gray.
Said she hadn't heard the news.
There's something very exposed about it.
Hadn't had the time
Very,
to choose
I might say,
a way to lose.
I might say even naked about it. It feels so exposed and vulnerable and naked. But at the same time, it's very warm and you know, it's interesting. I can't use a word like nostalgic. I cannot say nostalgic. I cannot say romantic. I cannot say any of those terms that we often use for music that brings warmth or recalls memories. This is interesting.
A way to lose, but she believes. Gonna see the riverman.
Okay, with these strings coming in,
Gonna tell him all I
kind of changes things.
about the plan.
Something a little bit Satie-like.
If he tells me all he knows
The way the harmonies are shifting
about the way his
gradually.
river flows, and all night shows in summertime.
And the way it plays with dissonance and harmonic progressions. It's kind of impressionistic, or I might even say, if I dare to go so deep into music groups and traditions, I might even say that it really strongly pulls towards something like Les Six, which was a group of early 20th century French composers. And I won't say more than that because I think many won't be familiar. Some of you might recognize what I'm saying there. But the way we go from something so calm and smooth and easy as a simple triadic based chord, and then the way the lines shift and become really dissonant, and then hazy, and then shifting further. And the other thing is I like the way the real world sounds, the natural world sounds, like, for example, the tape recorder cassette player button pushed at the beginning, or the footsteps, the sounds of nature, the bird songs. They come and they go. They're very, very conservatively used, although we hear quite a bit of it. But I think this is one of the things that also makes it feel kind of that strange mix of dream world, other world, modern world, immediate and at the same time mysterious. placing that bird song on this dissonant chord
Summertime.
right here. It's almost like the orchestra is trying to warble like the bird. But it's so English. Vaughan Williams.
Betty said she prayed today for the sky to blow away, or maybe stay.
It's like, okay, I have to admit that when the strings first came in, I wasn't sure I would like it. I wasn't sure that, if I could say in my very haughty manner, I wasn't sure I would approve. Because I loved the opening so much with just the guitar and the voice and the way it set up such a distinctive musical experience and image. As the music is progressing, I start to like these strings as well. And it's one of the things that makes it, well, I said it feels French, even identifiable to a certain small group of French composers at a specific musical era. However, then I said, it's so English, like Vaughan Williams. And it's true. It's true. It feels like, and then of course I said the English folk songs, British Isles folk songs. And I am using this term English quite broadly, so I hope nobody takes offense with the fact that I have conflated Danny Boy with an English musician. But I think that we can all agree that no matter which part of the British Isles you're from, so much of the music has so much in common. And that's one of the beautiful things about music. So this is just fascinating to me, the way all of this comes together. And yet, as I'm listening to it, it's really a simple concept, isn't it? Okay, harmonic progression throughout, which has consonants and dissonance, and it's fairly slow-moving chord changes. The melody is nothing that is astonishingly innovative or incredibly unique, and yet the way it all comes together and is brought into this particular song, this particular music, the way in which the atmosphere and the experience is created. And it's both, because you can have an atmospheric piece of music that doesn't really connect you in a direct way to the listening experience. You can also have music that is very experiential, and yet it's hard to use the term atmospheric for some reason. But this is both. This is both. And it's setting such a mood, and it's painting such a picture. If I'm going to go with visual imagery, I said early, gray, hazy, but then there are very, very judicially applied spots of bright red, maybe somebody walking in a bright red coat, maybe a sort of gray-toned image with one or two bright yellow leaves painted in there. Something like that, where color is used sparingly, carefully, not timidly at all. And it's this that I think makes this song work so well. The soft, mellow voice, the smooth, atmospheric string tones, the warm, gentle chords, but then the intense dissonance of a moment, or the bright upper strings, or some little thing like that. Suddenly, it's not at all timid or hesitating. It's so confident, so assured, so natural, and it so clearly belongs that we get this wonderful experience.
For the sky to blow away, or maybe stay.
Bright strings on top, as the voice is very smooth underneath.
For when she thought of summer rain, calling for her mind again.
Ooh,
she lost the pain.
Sharp jab there.
Stayed for love. Gonna see the riverman. Gonna tell him all I can about the band. Feeling free. If it tells me
that bird crowing there, the water flowing, so carefully applied. And I think this is one of the things that makes the poetry work so well too, because it is a rather reflective, poetic expression, soft, even grayish, we might say. And yet there are these very strong, sharp moments. For example, the opening verse. Betty came by on her way, said she had a word to say about things today, and fallen leaves, and said she hadn't heard the news, hadn't had the time to choose a way to lose. But she believes, going to see the riverman, going to tell him all I can about the plan for lilac time. Even the poetry has this sort of more artistic application of phrases and lines. It says something, but it's not something you sit down and analyze and say, logically A, B, C, D. We can argue our way through this, right? It's more tending towards an impressionistic type of expression. But it's more than that, because as we go along, Betty said she prayed today for the sky to blow away. This kind of imagery, this kind of prayer, or maybe stay, some indecision. She wasn't sure. For when she thought of summer rain, calling for her mind again, she lost the pain and stayed for more. And this is something that I feel both in the music and in the lyrics. A very warm gentleness, punctuated by sharpness, brightness, intensity. We might say pain. Just as this whole text here doesn't really say much about pain at all. It's more hazy than that. And yet we feel it that there's this sort of overtone of it. And finally, we do hear it, but not saying she felt the pain, instead saying she lost the pain when she thought of something. And that suddenly tells us, yes, we were right to feel a sort of pain through the whole thing, because pain seems to be a constant. And when it's gone is the moment it's suddenly mentioned. So in the music, we also hear this smooth, mellow softness. And then we hear these sharp, painful jabs or strong dissonances. But it simply is telling us that there is an undercurrent of pain throughout the entire thing.
Feeling free.
This, which we could say feels so warm and peaceful, but now it darkens. The bird flapping and the water flowing.
The way the river flows, I don't suppose it's meant for me.
Here again, that incredible dissonance. Just as it says, I don't suppose it's meant for me.
Oh, how they come and go. Oh, how they come and go.
And all through this, the bass has been practically the same. What a masterclass. A masterclass in what? Well, and that's where I have to say it's a masterclass simply because it's everything. We could say it's a masterclass in how to use harmonic progressions, dissonances and consonances. We could say it's a masterclass in how to use tone color, timbre to create an atmosphere. We could say it's a masterclass in how to judiciously apply natural world sounds as a way of heightening and intensifying the musical expression that already exists. Because you notice when those bird calls or the water flowing or those different sounds enter, it intensifies, it concentrates and highlights things that are being said in the lyrics. It enhances what is happening instrumentally, harmonically, musically. But all of those on their own, they're great. But the incredible thing about this song, I think, is the way in which it all comes together. As I said, so simply in the overall scheme. And yet, there are so many subtleties and details and perfect moments of expression in this. Without it feeling scattered, without it feeling overdone. It doesn't feel, as I said, you cannot call this romantic. You cannot call this nostalgic. There's too much pain in it. There's too much honesty. It's too direct. And isn't it interesting that it is so direct and speaks so directly without really doing so either in the different elements of the piece. Okay, lyrically, it's not a particularly direct set of lyrics. Same as the music is not a particularly direct musical expression. It's not telling us to our face, and yet we get to the end and think, wow, what a work of art. What a beautiful, beautiful, potent expression and experience that was and is. And it stays. This is going to stay with me all day long. And I don't think I want to listen to this once more today. I just want to stay with this experience. I will listen to it again, but somehow I want to savor this flavor without doing it again quite yet. And that's a rare thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a powerful thing. And it's the kind of thing that makes something so perhaps seemingly unimpressive as a soft voice, some soft strings, a few chords, and yet they stay with you and they change you and they enrich you and they stick in your mind and in your memory and in your ears such that you can't forget them. And that's powerful. So, thank you to all who voted for me to finally listen to Nick Drake. Thank you for choosing Riverman. I had to check the name again. Riverman. And I'm looking forward very much to what you choose for me next week. This has been yet another rewarding, worthwhile listening experience, and I will see you soon.